Calling Jorge. Calling Jorge. There we go. Hello, Jorge.
Hello, Dave.
Hello. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
That's great. That's great. Okay, I'm going to try to add some people to the call.
All right.
So let's see if I can do this. Let's try to get now Meera. That seems to be working. Meera, I'm calling you. Calling Meera. It's interesting. I don't hear the ring, but it seems like it's calling her. Hello, Meera.
Hi, Dave.
Hello. I'm very good, thanks. Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. Me too.
Okay. All right, I'm going to try to add someone else here. We have Jorge and Meera. And let's try to get Lucy in. Calling Lucy. Last time we had problems with the sound on Lucy, so hopefully it'll work this time.
Okay, I am there.
Ah, is this Lucy?
Yes.
Oh, you sound very good, very clear.
Oh, thank you.
Ah, so much better than last week. Wow, I'm impressed. Okay, this is great. Let's get in. We have to get Marina Ferrari. And I think we have Olga, right? Yeah, Olga. And there's Marina.
Hello, Dave.
Hello,
Hello,
okay.
everybody.
Hello.
We will need you to turn down or mute your mic, Marina, because we're just getting a lot of background. It sounds like static or something.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Very good. Okay, and we're going to add Olga. Let's see. Where is Olga? Olga, you're not online. Where's Olga? Oh, are you on Skype, though? Because I don't see you.
Olga is online.
You see her on Skype? Let's see. Because Olga, I have you as invisible or not available. Because when I talked to Florida and Arkansas, I never had this kind of problem. So I am on Skype. Oh, there you are. Now you're nice and green. Okay. Let's try to get her on.
Hello.
Hello, Olga. Can you hear me?
Hello, Olga. Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay. Again, Olga, we gotta get rid of all that feedback.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay, I can hear. Can everybody hear Olga?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Olga, hi.
Now okay. I can hear.
Okay. All right. And I think that's everybody that's in the chat room. If anybody's watching this, we're in chat number 2, not the one that just says chat. It says chat 2. Okay. So let's see here. Well, so far so good. What I have is an outline right below this. Okay. All right. So let's start off now. I think all of us actually were here last week that are here this week. So let's just do another introduction, and of course we forget things. So if you look at the outline right below this video, right there, it says include your country, native language, main reason that you want to improve English. Okay, and then we can remember you that way. So let's start with Mr. Jorge. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Jorge Hernandez. I'm from Bogota, Colombia, and I have been learning English for like 3 years, more or less. And I had the chance to live in California for 6 months, and that's it.
Okay, and your native language is Russian, right?
Oh, my native language is Spanish.
Spanish,
Yeah.
right. Okay, and well, let me ask you a quick question. What's the weather like there right now?
It's very cold. It's like 50 degrees Fahrenheit right now because I'm at like 13,000 feet
Oh,
high
really? Oh, you're in the
altitude.
mountains.
Yeah, it's a
Ah,
cold city. And
really?
it rains a lot. Yeah.
Do you get much snow?
No, we don't have snow, but it sometimes we have hail, a lot of
Oh,
hail
some hail.
when
Okay.
when it rains really hard.
I see. That's close to snow, not quite, but it's white.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it covers the streets and it gets a little bit slippery.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. That's interesting.
Not too cold, yeah.
I see. All right. Well, that's very good. Nice to have you here, Jorge. Okay, next.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Lucy, why don't you
Yes.
introduce yourself?
Okay. I don't speak English, but I will try.
Yeah, you try your best. Just do your best. That's fine.
Okay. I'm Lucy. I am from Quebec, Canada. My language is French. I want to learn English for travel.
Ah, for travel. And have you traveled to America by any chance?
Yes, I already went to in America, in United States.
Oh, where did you go? What state or what city?
I went in New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts,
Oh, okay. The northeast of the states.
in New York too also.
Oh, very good. That sounds great. Okay, well, nice to have you here, Lucy. And next is Olga. Olga.
Hi, everybody. My name is Olga, and I'm from Russia. And I am my native my native language is Russian. And at the moment, I'm living in Australia. And I would like to improve my English for professional reasons. I think it's like very big problem for people who migrated to another country. They can't do same level of job what they do in their own country.
Right.
They have to go down. I have many friends who were doing top jobs in their own country, and when they come here, they have to start doing assistant jobs, and I think it's like causing a lot of unhappiness,
Because you want to go up, right?
No, I want to go to the same level,
or at least the same level, sideways. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, very good. Nice to have you here, Olga. And next is Meera.
Hi. Dave, you look wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
I'm glad to see you. I glad to be here because last time I couldn't. I have problems with browser. I don't know, with computer. My native language is Russian. I'm from Russia. 50 months I live in United States. Right now I live in Connecticut. in Hartford.
Oh, okay.
I learn English because I live here, because I'm going to go in college. I'm going to get new professional. I want to be nurse.
Oh, you want to be a nurse? Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. That's a great profession to get into in the United States because there's a high demand for nurses now, and pays pretty well too.
In Russia, I was a teacher.
Oh, you were?
Geography and biology.
Ah, I think you told me that before, and now I'm just remembering it. Yeah, you taught geography, and I think we talked about a little bit about geography, or I sent you a message or something like that, right?
Okay.
Is that you don't know? Okay, well, if you don't remember, then that's fine, because I'm not sure if that was you or not. Okay, well, that's great. And what's the weather like in Connecticut right now?
Today is not warm. Maybe 52 degrees.
52.
Fahrenheit.
Oh, similar to where Jorge is.
Maybe. I live in Connecticut only 2 months. Before we live in Florida. Florida is very nice.
Oh,
Today
yeah.
in Florida, my friend swimming in the ocean.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's very warm in Florida. It's very tropical, and it's totally different than Connecticut. That's strange. So how did you go from Florida to Connecticut?
Because my husband get new job.
Oh, job. Okay. Yeah, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, great. Well, it's great to have you here, Meera. Thanks for joining us. And last but not least, Marina.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marina. I'm from Brazil. My native language is Portuguese, not Spanish, besides English. Yeah, because people think that Latin America, we all
is all Spanish, right? I know.
Yeah.
And Brazil, the #1 language is Portuguese.
Portuguese, and the second language is Tupi Guarani. That's an Indian language.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit of this Indian native language.
Really? Wow.
Yes. I'm an English teacher here in Brazil. Besides English, I do speak fluent Spanish, Italian. My family is from Italy, and now I'm taking classes of Suomi. That it's Finnish. And about the weather here, it's 56 Fahrenheit, and I must say stop global warming because it's spring here and it's still cold.
And it's still cold. So it's not usually this cold at this time of year.
No. 56 Fahrenheit is too cold for springtime.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So is everybody still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just hit a button and I thought, uh-oh, did I hit the wrong button? Okay, well, very good. Everyone is sounding really good, and it's great to have everybody here today. Thanks for coming. What I'd like to start off with is what we were looking at in Lesson 2 this week, which was these icebreakers and pronunciation and this sort of thing. So if you look at the outline below here, it says good icebreakers can be, and in parentheses it says always positive, because icebreakers are supposed to be always positive. And I've written there compliments. So before I go to the other ones, what could I compliment somebody on? What can you brainstorm with me and give me some ideas of what that I might compliment somebody on that's new, a new person that I don't know?
maybe about the clothes that the person is wearing.
Right, clothes. Like, so what could you say?
Like, oh, that's a nice tie, Dave.
Ah,
Where
there
did
you
you get
go.
it?
Right, right, right. Like, nice tie. Yeah, where did you get it? Something like that. Can you think of anyone else? Can you think of another compliment that you could give to somebody?
About smile.
Smile?
You have nice smile.
Ah, that's very good. I didn't think of that one, but that's a good one. Like, you have a nice smile. Yes, that's nice.
Or your smile is very beautiful. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, well, you know, from this part of the world, the phrase "you have a nice smile" I think would work best. Um, just because it's not too much, you know, it's not too much of a, you know, if you go overboard too much, sometimes it makes people feel a little uncomfortable.
That's flirting.
Yeah, well, and then that can make somebody feel uncomfortable because you know, that's the thing about icebreakers is, you know, you don't want to make the other person feel uncomfortable. And if it's like a male-female situation, and you make, and it's like a guy saying something like that to a woman, if it's too strong, you know, it's not such a good thing. Usually, if it's the woman saying it to the man, perhaps it's not as bad. But it really depends on the culture, you know, and how people react to things. So, Olga, why don't you just speak it out, Olga? What was yours?
I said that one of the compliments could be, "You look nice today," or "This shirt looks good on you."
Yeah, very good. And when you said that last one, like "this shirt looks good on you," you could say that, you know, you could kind of follow that up with "that's a good color for you," you know, because of course, you know, everyone's skin tone looks like, so you can say, "Oh, that shirt looks good on you. That's a good color for you." And her first one, "You look nice today." Excellent, excellent thing to say. And then Jorge's making some fun here. That's nice. Yeah, if he's like, I think Jorge is just fixed on picking up girls, you know. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, Jorge, if you really said that to somebody in Colombia, would that work? Because in America, that would not work. You could not say, if I said to a woman, "you have a nice body," that would not work. Would that work in Colombia?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so if I come to Colombia, you have to remind me of that, okay?
All right.
Because here, maybe the woman would be offended, and she would probably feel very uncomfortable. How about, well, why don't I put that out to the ladies here? In your native countries, would that work? How about Olga, in Russia, could you say something like that?
About nice body? No.
Yeah, no. Okay. How about Marina in Brazil? Marina, are you there? How about Meera?
It is independent.
Well, you're...
situation.
Depends on the situation? Okay.
Yes.
Like if it's a very casual situation?
Sometimes it's informal situation. Maybe it's not good. In official, it's very crazy phrase.
Yeah, right. Okay.
If it's connected to something, for example, she bought a new skirt and you say, "Oh, it's a nice skirt," and you have a nice legs, then it's okay.
Good point. That's a very good point.
It has to connect to something.
Yes, you're right. If it's connected to something, right.
Just have same legs all the day. Why would I say today you have a nice legs?
Right. I see.
Because she wears new skirt, maybe that I can see her legs like that.
Right. Yes, that's a good point. So Jorge, remember that.
All right.
Okay, so compliments about what they're wearing, like "you look nice today." If you're in a group situation, like a classroom or office meeting, maybe if they said something, You could compliment them on what they said, like I like what you said in the meeting, or I agree with what you said, or that was a good idea, something like that type of compliment, this type of thing. Do you know what I mean? The next one, it says common interest. Do you know what I mean by that? Do you know what I mean by common interests?
Well, it means like for example, in our situation that we are all speaking or trying to improve our English level, so we can start talking about some expressions or something related to what we are all doing together.
Well, yeah, that's a good example. We're like our common interest would be English, and and of learning English and working together and that sort of thing. So it's kind of like we're in a class. We are in a class together, and that's our common interest. Now, as we get to know each other more, we may have more common interests that we find. So here, yeah, it's English. If it's at work situation, the common interest would be work, the job, the company,
right.
the task at hand. If you're at a party, the common interest is what?
I don't know, many things. You can speak about many things.
Well, what do you think is and anybody can answer this, what is the one common interest, the main common interest at a party?
Enjoying. Having fun.
Well, that's true, but I'm looking for something even more specific. Usually a party, who invites you?
A host?
Yeah, so everybody knows the host usually, right?
Yeah.
So the common interest can be your attachment to the host. How do you know so and so? Oh, and then that's a good icebreaker because everybody was invited by that person, so it's a good guess that everybody knows that person. How do you know John or whatever, and then that can really get a conversation going. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, these type of things to get it.
To start gossiping?
Well, that's interesting that you bring that up. You bring up the word gossip.
Yeah.
Gossip is really a derogatory term, or it's sometimes it's used in kind of a light way, but gossip essentially means talk about somebody behind their back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually in a kind of a negative way. So you wouldn't want to gossip in the sense of that. You wouldn't want to say something negative, bad about that person and joke about them, because that's not a good way to start a conversation, because you're starting it off very negatively, and that usually drives the energy down.
Yeah. But that's usually what happens in a party. Like 1 year ago, my sister made a party in Nevada, a Halloween party.
Okay.
And I start talking to people, and we were just talking about how was the life in Colombia, and then we started talking about their personal lives, and we start talking about some stuff about my sister, like how was she when she was younger, things like that like
well, that's
personal
okay.
lives.
Yeah, that's okay. I think when you say gossip, you're not thinking perhaps of the same way I'm thinking of the word, because what you just mentioned is fine. That's fine. Gossip is more like your sister got drunk and she was arrested last night, and this is her third time that she was arrested. That's more of what I'm talking about, more private things that, kind of maybe damage the person's character. But, light, funny things like how they were as a child, I think that's fine, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So, common interest. So, wherever you are, there's got to be a common interest. Why are you there and that sort of thing. The next one is weather. What can you say about the weather? What do you think? Lucy, can you think of an icebreaker that you can say that has to do with the weather?
Oh. uh, how was the weather today? What a nice day.
Well, the second one you have is better.
Okay.
Because it's very positive. You're saying, oh, what a nice day it is today. Or what else? What other positive remark can you make about the weather? Anyone else have an idea? Olga or?
I would say it's very nice and warm today because for Melbourne, it's very rare to have a sunny day.
Oh, really? So you have
Yeah.
like if there's sunshine, you could say something about how
warm and sunny it was.
warm and sunny, right. Okay, yeah. So what would you say though, actually? Like if I'm that person, what would you say to me?
I would say it is beautiful day today, very sunny and warm.
Okay. Let me help you with that a little bit. That's good. Usually, let me see. Usually people would kind of put that in the form of a question, like, isn't it a beautiful day today? It's so warm and sunny. And then that's kind of like asking a question, which elicits maybe a better response from the other person. Yeah, oh, I know. Isn't it great? Oh, it's just, I love this weather. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah, to get connected.
Yeah, put it in the form of a question.
Yeah.
Right. How about Meera? Can you think of an icebreaker with the weather?
If somebody tell me it's a nice day today, isn't it? I answer it certainly is. It's beautiful day. I know beautiful phrase, icebreaker phrase. Look at the sky. It's clear as a bell.
That's a good one. That's a good one because that's like you starting off. So, look at the sky. It's as clear as a bell. Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder where that phrase comes from. As you were saying that, I'm like, yes, I've definitely heard that before. But when you think about it, clear as a bell, I wonder what the etymology of that is. But absolutely.
Another question, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think it's going to rain? It's hot day today in Florida. Somebody. It's a very popular phrase. It's hot day today, hot and humid.
Right.
In Connecticut, it's a little bit different.
It's more bitter and dry and cold, right?
Cold. It's cold day today. Do you like it?
Well, I don't think Americans would say that. They would know what you mean, though, and they would be fine answering you. But the thing is, okay, yeah, so there's all different kinds of weather. There's very cold weather, there's rainy weather, there's snow, all of this sort of thing. And some people like it and some people don't. And, whatever you do with it, whatever the weather is, you be positive with it, because if you say,
cold, it's not positive.
I'm sorry?
Right? Cold weather, it's not positive. It's I can't conversation about cold weather.
You can't? Oh, I bet I could have a conversation with you about cold weather.
It's cold. It's not positive.
Well, okay, maybe it's not positive for you, but a lot of people love cold weather, and a lot of people prefer cold weather. Now, interestingly,
very Russian people.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I mean, this is what I was going to say is a lot of people who grew up in cold weather, they don't like cold weather. They think it's negative because they grew up in it and it was difficult and they maybe just their family felt that way, they felt that way. It was difficult, they didn't like it. Interestingly, though, people like me who grew up in warm weather, I live in Southern California and I've, lived here most of my life and it's very warm here. So I love cold weather. I love the rain. I love the snow, and I like it. And I'm not the only one. So the thing is, certain things may be negative to you, but the idea is if it's raining, you can find something positive to say about it. I mean, it may look beautiful when it rains. It looks so beautiful outside when it rains. Or, like I gave one example, I love when it rains. It makes me want to sit by like the fire and read a book and have a cup of tea or coffee. To me, that's relaxing. I love the sound of the rain, I love going to sleep when it rains because the sound on the roof just makes me relax. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think sometimes the negative comments also can unite people, and you can start conversation. Like one person complains about bad weather, it's raining, so that's also you can start talking like this. Then you start complaining about weather, you both complaining, or it's raining again, like that.
Yeah, you can. You're right, and a lot of people do, and it does work. But my point is, it's not the best way, and usually, not always, but usually, when you get on a negative spiral, that spiral usually goes down. But if you're on a positive spiral, the energy in the conversation goes up. Now, you're right. Sometimes that's not true. I'm not saying it's that way all the time. But as a general principle, it's better to start off positive, and it's like, like Olga, like, we were talking before about a lot of the things you're experiencing living in Australia. This is one of those things, if you try to instigate, these positive comments and try to adapt that, you might find that it works, much better with the Australian people.
Oh.
So, okay. So whether what instead of me just talking about, can anyone else give me an idea of what something positive you could say about cold or wet weather? Because I think when it's warm and sunny, it's kind of easy to say something.
Well, maybe when you like you said, when you like cold weather and maybe you like snow sports like snowboarding or skiing, maybe you can use those as a way to talk to someone that it's a great time of the year to go and ski or something like that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good idea. Because it's something that people spend a lot of their time, energy, and money doing, like snowboarding, skiing, and that is, 100% a cold weather sport. And I mean, you can talk about, the beauty of being up in the mountains, and while you're snowboarding or skiing, the beautiful views you have, and how peaceful it is, and how clean the air is, and how it's fun to put on the gear and the jackets and whatever, the goggles and everything. So that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I went to Lake Tahoe. I bet you've been there.
Oh yeah. I've been skiing at Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was very beautiful, and I tried to talk to people about how beautiful it looked, and I told them that I don't have snow here, so it was my first time in the snow, so
Ah,
I like it.
yeah, especially if it's your first time seeing the snow. I could imagine that. And Lake
Yeah,
Tahoe is very beautiful. It's great country up there, so I know what you mean. So there's a
yeah,
lot of
indeed.
positive things to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. And then the final one I put up there was news. So now news, this one can be tricky because the news is often negative, right? It's
Yeah.
always like, war, people are losing money in a bank or something, or,
Yeah.
the weather, like Indonesia they had an earthquake and a tsunami and a
Yeah.
volcano eruption all in the same week,
Yeah.
So, so a lot of the news is negative, but can we think of some news that we can use in a positive way as an icebreaker?
Yeah. Like like maybe the when when the miners were trapped
Ah,
on the mine,
right,
and
in
they were
Chile.
in Chile, yeah, and they were rescued, and everyone was excited to see them back again and their families. They were so happy to see them again.
Yeah, they all got
So
out
I guess
alive.
that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Right, that's a very positive news item, very interesting, because you could start talking about that as an icebreaker, and this is like a timely thing. Of course, news has to be something recent. You wouldn't want to talk about that maybe a year from now as an icebreaker, like, hey, did you hear about those Chilean miners? Well, yeah, that was a year ago. It just sounds weird. But, if that
Yeah,
was within the week or something, absolutely, and then that could lead to a conversation talking about, hey, I wonder, how, these guys, what went wrong, how the mine collapsed, and why why can't they go in through the tunnel where they dug in the first place? Why do they have to dig a new hole? I mean, there's so many questions and things you could start discussing from that icebreaker. So that's a good one.
yeah.
Um, how about someone else? Anyone else have an idea? Shy people, come on.
I have no idea about positive news.
Positive
I'm
news?
sorry.
Oh, we got to help you with that then. Well, Jorge came up with a good one. How about Lucy? You have an or what? Marina, are you there? Is Marina's not in the chat room anymore. So I wonder what happened. Does anyone know what happened to Marina?
Maybe she's sleepy.
Maybe
So
she's
late.
sleepy. There's somebody else told me it was going to be 4 a.m. their time, but they were going to try to make it for the chat. But anyway, it looks like she's gone. Positive news. Lucy, can you think of an idea?
Mm, I think, I don't know. Maybe I watched TV yesterday and I saw Celine Dion with two new babies.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you could say, oh, I watched this show with Celine Dion, and she had two babies. Did you hear about that? You know, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Go ahead, Jorge.
And she is 42 or something like that.
I
think
don't
so.
understand.
Jorge's
How old is she?
How
I
old?
think she is like 42.
well, what he's trying to do is like that's how he would continue the conversation because Celine Dion is I guess in her 40s, so she had two babies of her own. So
Yes.
that's kind of interesting too because she's for having babies that's a little bit older.
Yeah, it could be risky.
Could be risky. Yeah, could be risky. Now you're going down the negative path. But you could say something positive about that though. You could say she's an amazing woman. I mean, she's obviously so healthy, and she takes care of herself, and she's had such a great career, and then, she had a few babies at this age, I think that's great.
Yeah.
You could go that way, It might be risky. That's Celine. She might die. Maybe her babies will have problems. You don't want to go down that pathway. Okay. Anything positive about financial markets or countries seeming to do better. I heard positive, like I hear positive things about Brazil a lot in terms of their economy expanding. I hear positive things about Chile. I don't know. I guess the rest of the world is suffering. Of course, China's expanding, so that's like a positive thing. You got to be careful, but there are positive things in the news, and you can like this example with the babies. It's easy to put a negative spin on it. You can easily say something negative which you really want to avoid, or you can twist it around and find some positive things to say about that. Okay, so below that it says, these are really important. Be sincere. What does that mean, to be sincere?
To be true.
Yeah, right. To be truthful, to be real. Like if I see your tie, Jorge, and I compliment it, but I'm not sincere, it's not going to work very well, because usually, people can tell when you're not sincere. And then people don't feel connected to you, and they don't want to talk to you so much,
Yeah.
So you got to be sincere. You got to show sincere interest. Be respectful. I think you know what that means. If you disrespect the other person in any way, they're most likely going to want to end the conversation with you and leave. So obviously you don't want to do that. And then it says interested. Be interested in the other person. One of the mistakes that some people make is they start talking about themselves. And that's usually not such a good path. It can keep a conversation going, but the good conversationalist is somebody who shows interest in the other person. So if you show a lot of interest, like, okay, I'm talking to Lucy, and her native language is French. Okay, that's interesting. She's from Canada. Well, that's interesting, especially even if I don't know much about Canada. That's even more interesting, because I can ask her a lot of questions about where she lives. What's the weather like there? Do most people in her area speak French? It goes on and on. Has she been to France? Blah, 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 blah. Did she study English when she was in school, or just French? There's so many questions there, but as making the icebreaker, like I could go up to Lucy, maybe somebody told me, oh, she's from Canada, and I can go up to her and I could say, hey, so I think somebody told me you're from Canada, is that true? And then Lucy, you would say, Lucy, did we lose you?
Yes.
So if I walked up to you and I said, hi, somebody told me you were from Canada, is that true? What would you say?
Yes, it's true.
Oh.
I am from French Canada.
French Canada. Ah, I see. And then I could ask her another question, like, oh, well, where is that? Well, what part of Canada is that? And then you would say, Lucy?
I would say it's in Quebec.
In Quebec.
In Quebec, in province of Quebec.
Province of Quebec. Ah.
Yes.
I say, okay, and then, the conversation is started on a very positive note. And I could say, I've heard it's very beautiful up there. and, just to get things rolling, get things started. Okay. But I'm showing interest in her. That's going to make her feel more comfortable. That's going to make her, hopefully, contribute to the conversation so it's not me just asking her questions. Hopefully, she will reciprocate and start asking me some questions. So, like, after we exchange a few, what could I do? Well, I could introduce myself. I could say, I'm David, by the way. And then what would you say, Lucy?
I don't understand.
Well, I just said to you, my name's David.
Okay, my name is Lucy.
Lucy. Oh, okay. Nice to meet you.
Where are you now? Where did I don't know how to say that.
You could say, where are you from?
Well, where are you from?
Yeah, very good. No, you're doing fine, Lucy. You're doing great. Exactly. And I could say, well, I'm from California. I'm from Los Angeles in California.
And I will say you are very lucky.
Yes, and I imagine you're saying that because of the weather. Is that true, Lucy?
California's weather is amazing.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, in summer it was really, really hot, but...
Yeah, well, were you saying last week that you were in Palm Springs in the summer?
Yeah, it was 120 degrees.
Yeah, I never go to the desert. I never go to Palm Springs in the desert. Well, unless I have to, but I usually don't.
Yeah.
I like in the wintertime, it's fine out there. Actually it gets cold out there. Of course there are places, it's not all of California the weather's good. I mean, really, Southern California has the best weather. It's much colder up north and things like that. But that's good. That's a good way to get things started. So we just went over a few things. Be sincere, be respectful, and be interested in the other person. That's a good way to use your icebreaker. Because if Lucy asks me, oh, where are you from? And I say California, and I go blah, 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 and I just keep talking about me. Oh, yeah, I live in California. California's great, and oh, we have this nice place in California, and I'm just talking about me, 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 me. Lucy may get very bored. It's like... she may just be like, is this guy ever going to stop talking? He is only interested in himself. It won't be such a good conversation. So, be interested. People are interesting. All of you, I could think of hundreds of things to ask you. We have two people here from Russia. I mean, Russia is an interesting country. There are so many things I could ask about Russia. Jorge, you live in Colombia, another kind of exotic place, that I would like to learn so much about, and I could ask a lot of questions about. Lucy being, French Canadian, and her experiences, absolutely. And then me, hopefully, you would think of a lot of things you could ask. Why don't we brainstorm for a second? Since I'm from America, what could you ask me if you met me for the first time and you didn't know I was a teacher,
Maybe if you have traveled to some other country,
Well, yeah, sure. But I'm just like if you heard I'm American, that's kind of the interest. Like, Jorge, you're from Colombia. I would, if I just met you, I didn't know anything about you, I would probably start asking some questions about Colombia. That would get things started. So could any of you think of some questions you might ask me as an icebreaker?
If you have met a celebrity, like you live in Los Angeles.
Sure. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I live in Los Angeles, which is, Hollywood is in Los Angeles. And have you ever met a celebrity? That's a great one. Anyone else? Can you think of one? How about Meera?
What do you like?
What do you like in California? Well,
Yes. Uh, uh, what place do you like in California?
uh,
Uh, I know in California many different places.
oh, like you know many different places. Is that what you're saying, Meera?
Um, I know San Diego. In San Diego, very beautiful place. SeaWorld, World.
Right, right. Well,
World.
so
Yes.
right. No, that's good. I
I
understand.
I went 2 years ago. Do you know this place? Do you like it?
Right. Well, okay. That's great. That's a great idea. I'll just help you with maybe a little different way to say that. You could say like, have you ever been to San Diego? That's
Okay.
that's a little better phrase to use. Why don't you try it right now to me? Have you?
Can you?
Sure.
Uh,
Have you ever been to San Diego?
have a,
Hey, you know, I should type it in the chat. No. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry. Let me type it in the chat.
haven't. Oh,
Hold on
I
one
don't.
second here.
Mm,
There you go.
how you? Have you never been in San Diego?
Have you
Have you ever
ever?
been?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to San Diego?
Yeah, that's right. Very good. That's great. And then I would answer you, well,
Do you live in Hollywood? In close to Universal Studio?
that's another one. You could say, do you live close to Universal Studios? That's
You
another.
live close to Universal Studio?
Yeah, do you live, let me type this, close to Studios. I should put a question mark there. Yeah, that's a good one. So that's a great thing to say. Like the first one, I would say, "Oh yes, actually, I was born in San Diego," and then
Really? Oh.
yeah, right. And you see how that just is a great way to start the conversation. And then you can ask about SeaWorld. You mentioned SeaWorld, and we could talk a lot about that and talk about different things about San Diego, and then hopefully I would ask you questions maybe about living in Russia, living in Florida, living in Connecticut, and anywhere else that you lived. So we could really start off a conversation with that, and it would be very positive energy.
Dave?
Yeah, Olga.
And why did you move to California?
Well, I was born in San Diego.
And San Diego is in
So
California?
I went from God in the heavens to California.
Where is San Diego? Is it
Oh, you don't know San Diego. San Diego is quite.
San Diego in California.
Yeah, it's
yes.
in California.
South California.
Right, it's south of Los Angeles. It's about 100 and I don't know 30 miles south of Los Angeles. San Diego is.
So it's.
What?
Yeah, people don't hear about San Diego nearly as much as they hear about Los Angeles. So I understand why you didn't know about that. But yeah, I was born there. And then, but if I was born somewhere else, that would be a great question. Why did you move there? You know, like Meera said earlier, I asked her why did she move from Florida to Connecticut, and she mentioned about her husband's job. And that's really interesting. And I can say, oh, really? What does your husband do? You know, and then we could just start talking from there. You know, or we could talk more about Florida, talk more about Connecticut, that sort of thing.
And do you live near the beach?
Ah, great question. Great question.
I saw your dog and you on the beach. You posted some photos
Oh,
of your
right.
dog
Yeah.
Bella on
Yeah,
the beach.
Bella. Yeah.
For how for the beach.
Right.
That was wonderful.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I really don't live close to the beach. But when you live in Los Angeles, it's not that far to drive to the beach. I mean, it maybe takes 30 to 40 minutes to get to the beach, you know, so it's not that bad.
Do you like swimming?
Yeah, oh yeah, see, there you go. Do you like to swim? Do you like to swim in the ocean? Do you body surf? Do you surf? A lot of California people surf. It's a very popular thing to do. It's kind of interesting. It's like, how does one learn how to surf and all this sort of thing? And swimming, and is the water warm there? And do you wear a
Can you
wetsuit?
swim?
Yeah, I can swim. Oh yeah, I've been swimming since I was 3 years old, believe it or not. I was brought
Did you ever
Wow.
try surfing?
Why?
yeah,
I
well,
also born my
since I grew up in San Diego, and everybody's into the water there, and there's a lot of good programs for little kids, like through the YMCA to learn how to swim. So they start them that young, and I knew how to swim when I was 3 years old.
I
So
also grew up on at the Japanese sea, and the beach was just like 300 meters from my house. And from the small age, I learned to swim,
oh, good.
and whole day I was on the beach. I remember that when I was
Yeah.
like young, like 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 10 years.
Oh, that's
Then
great.
then we moved.
Right, because your father always moved to different places, right?
Yeah, then we moved. But that was the best days of my life,
Oh,
maybe.
I bet. Well, see, it's very interesting because, like, you have a similar experience to me. I grew up in San Diego, and when I lived in San Diego, I was much closer to the beach, and everybody, it's all about, like, San Diego has really beautiful beaches and a
Yeah.
lot of water, and the bays, they also have huge bays, like they have San Diego Bay, they have Mission Bay, and these bays are huge and beautiful, and there's a lot of water sports, so people are windsurfing, sailing, water skiing, jet skiing, just all kinds of water sports, scuba diving, diving from cliffs into the water, like in La Jolla. I mean, it just goes on and on. So most people are into the beach. And so when you grow up with the beach, you love the beach. And it's interesting because in my adult life, I traveled to a lot of different countries, and I've met people, from countries who didn't have that experience. So they don't see the interest. Why, what's the big deal about the beach? They're like, isn't the sun bad for your skin? And I'm like, oh, you don't understand. So yeah, a lot of positive things to say about that. Okay, so this is what I want to do. Okay, I don't know. Well, let's just stay on as one group instead of me breaking people up into groups. But we got to know each other a little bit thus far. So let's take a minute or two and everybody write down an icebreaker that you could ask somebody else in the group. Not me, but somebody else in the group. And I'm not going to tell you who you're going to ask it to. So,
Okay.
just and try to come up with a few. And it can be weather, anything, compliment, a question, anything we just discussed. Okay? And then when we do this, we'll talk about the pronunciation of the words you're saying too. Well, don't write them in the chat.
Where should we write it?
Just like if you have a piece of paper in front of you or something.
To write or need to speak?
Well, I want you to speak it. The only reason why I'm asking you to write it is so you don't forget it.
Okay.
That's the only reason. Yeah, I want you to speak it.
Hi, Meera. Can I speak?
Hold on one second.
Hi, Olga.
Okay.
Let's give everybody like 1 minute more just to write some things down. And you can write more than one, so write down a few. Okay. All right. So we all set to go?
Almost.
Almost? Okay, give you a few more seconds here. And don't worry if it's a little wrong or something. I mean, that's why we're doing this. I'll help you. I'll help you fix it. So don't be embarrassed by this at all. Okay. About ready now?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so let's see. Jorge, why don't you start an icebreaker with Olga?
All right. Olga, what's a good typical food from your country that you would recommend to me?
And you can answer him, Olga.
Okay. I think Russians like to eat soup, and it's like always has to be included in the menu, especially for lunch. And I think it's the main difference between Colombian food and Russian food. We eat soup, and we eat a lot of potato and noodles, and we have some Russian food which I can't translate as well because it's just a Russian name.
That's Russian. Okay. Well, let me stop you there. So, okay, Jorge, your icebreaker was, what's a typical food? Can you remind me what you said?
Okay, I said, what's a good typical food from your country that you would recommend to me to try?
Well, okay, so let me just help you, and we can just change that a little bit. First of all, maybe it's better to say, what's a popular food in Russia?
Okay.
And you know, what's a popular food in Russia? What do most people like to eat in Russia? Something like that. And then she said like the soup, and she even gave some description, which was really nice. What could you say back to her, Jorge, after she said, you know, soup, and she described it a little bit?
Well, that maybe I should try it. Well, maybe someday I'll Well, I don't know if I will go to Russia because it's too far, but
Negative. Got to keep it positive. You know, the thing is, like, okay, so she said, like, you could ask her, what's it called? What's the most popular soup? What's it called? You could say.
okay.
What does it taste like? Is it spicy? Is it, is it vegetable-y? Is it a hot soup? Is it a cold soup? What color is it? You could go on and on like that.
Yeah.
So why don't you ask her, what is it called?
I don't know.
Okay, can I answer? The borscht is the popular Russian soup.
Right.
We made it with beetroot. It's red color.
Okay.
And it's very traditional, and I've never seen that kind of soup from other countries. So borscht is the popular Russian soup made with beetroot. And we put also some mayonnaise. We have to eat it with mayonnaise.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
You can try it, or if you can't come to Russia because it's too far, you can always try it in Russian restaurant in Colombia.
Yeah, just go down the street, Jorge, to that Russian restaurant at the corner. Oh, I'm sure. No, I know. You're right, Olga. I'm sure there's Russian restaurants. Yeah, he just has to find out where they are and try it sometime. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few things. So when you say that phrase, what's the most popular?
Me?
Yeah, you, Jorge.
Okay, what's the most popular food in Russia? Maybe.
Russia. Yeah. Okay. What's the most popular food in Russia? Pretty clear. Popular. What's the most popular food in Russia? Popular. Your R is just a little high. Like it's not bad. I mean, people will understand you, but you got like popular. It's a little lower sound. Popular. It kind of drops. Popular. Yeah, a little lower, a little shorter. Popular. Uh-huh.
Okay.
If we say popular too much, we're going to probably get confused. Our tongues are going to get twisted. Food is a longer vowel sound. Food. What is a popular food in Russia? Let's try food.
Okay.
Go ahead and say it.
What's up good popular food in Russia?
Uh-huh. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
And then what was your answer, Olga?
Again?
Yeah.
Borscht is the popular Russian soup.
It's a popular Russian soup. Okay. And why don't you go on to describe it a little bit, Olga?
Okay. It's made out of beetroot, and it serves with mayonnaise.
Okay, it's made out of what?
Beetroot.
Okay, are you saying beetroot?
Yes. It's not right?
Okay, so...
Vegetables like beet.
Vegetables like beet, yeah. So when we say beet, it's a E, it's a long E sound. We got to stretch the vowel. So pronounce it beet, beet. Longer vowel.
Root.
Try it again. What?
Beet.
Yeah. Root. Root.
Root is also long.
Root. Well, longer than you've been saying it. You said it real short. Root. Root. And it's like, I don't know what that is. But root. I stretch that a little bit more. Not as much as beet, but...
Root.
Yeah. It's made from beetroot.
Root.
Try that phrase. Root. Yeah, that's good. Try the whole phrase. It's made from beetroot.
It's made from beetroot.
Excellent. Wow, that was fantastic. See, I knew exactly what you were saying there. That was great.
It's made from beetroot.
Yes. And that may be a common thing to work on for native speakers of Russian is to stretch a lot of vowels, stretch them out, because if you make them too short, they won't be as understandable. That's made from beetroot. Mayonnaise, I understood. Vegetable. And any other descriptors you could give us, Olga?
I serve with mayonnaise. And
all right.
What else? You can put some beef inside, or you can cook it with beef, or you can make it vegetarian just with beans.
Beans, okay. Well, your beef and beans were good. I really heard your vowels in there. You beef, you stretch that. That was good. And beans, I really heard. So good. That was very good. Okay. Let's have Meera. Can you try an icebreaker with Lucy?
I really like French language. My dream after I learn English, I try to learn French. Tell me, Lucy, tell me something to French, some phrase. I really like this language. Tell me.
A phrase in French?
Yeah.
You want I speak French? Is it that I don't?
Song.
Yes, that's it, to speak French. I don't understand very well.
So, okay.
I
Go ahead.
not yet speak French.
I understand
you. I'm going to learn French because it's beautiful language.
Yes.
I really like French.
So maybe Meera is a better question would be, can you teach me a phrase?
Can you teach me some phrase on French, please?
Okay.
Much better, yeah.
Okay. Bonjour.
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 Bonjour is hello, right?
Yes, c'est bonjour.
Bonjour.
It's not bonjour, it's bonjour.
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 Comment ça va?
Comment ça va?
It's bonjour.
Comment ça va? Mean how are you, right?
Yeah, yes, that's it. How are you? Comment ça va?
Comment ça va? It's beautiful. You live in... Сказать, в каком городе ты живешь?
Oh, we have a little Russian translation going on here.
Okay.
Which town are you living, Lucy?
I live in a town named Sept-Îles. Sept-Îles.
It's what part of Canada?
It's in the east of Canada.
East, close to Atlantic Ocean, right?
Yes, but it's St. Lawrence Gulf. Near Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, so let me stop you there. That was good. And Meera, those were good questions that you were asking. And Lucy, be easygoing, on the people. Even if she wants to learn a phrase, you don't want to drive the person crazy with getting the pronunciation just right. and that sort of thing. She's showing interest in you, and if she gets it kind of close, say, "Oh yeah, that's good," you know. And then Lucy, what would you do since she's asking you these questions about yourself? What would you do?
I don't know.
Well, you could ask her some questions, right? About herself.
Okay, me, I ask a question?
Right. To keep the conversation going, you want to ask her some questions, right?
Oh, okay. And you live in Russia? It's
That's fine.
Yes, before I live in Russia.
In what town do you live?
I born in Kazan city. It's middle Russia. Last year, my last year in Russia, I live in Moscow.
Okay.
Capital city of Russia.
You speak? Do you speak English? Is your second language?
No, I speak English only 1 year before I learn Germany in school. I speak little bit in school, in ESL school only. My husband Russian, and at home we speak Russian.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That's good. That's good. So,
thank you.
Yeah, I'll let you off the hook now. But this is the good start. This is a good start. Lucy showing interest in Meera, and Meera, started the conversation by showing interest in Lucy. Let me give you some pronunciation tips. Meera. Like when you say words, I wrote down a few words here, like little and bit.
Little.
You say like beat, but it's bit. It's a short bit.
Bit.
Little, even the word little, it's just that short vowel. It's not
little bit.
Yeah, little.
Little bit.
There, that's much better. Little bit.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit.
And only, how are you pronouncing that?
Only.
Yeah, that's a little better now. When you said it earlier, it was a little short. Like the O, make sure you hit the O long enough. Only. And the word home, need to stretch the vowel more. Home. Yeah. I think you said it kind of like home. At home. At home.
Okay.
And it's just, yeah. And these are probably similar tips for Olga, with these same sounds. And even Jorge with Spanish, like when you say little bit, do you sometimes stretch it too much?
A little bit.
That's good.
Little bit.
Little. Like with the Russian, the little, the way you say it is, it's very far back in your throat, and we bring it more forward. You say it kind of like little bit, but it's more in the front. We say like if you can see me on the video, like little bit. It's more in the front of my mouth, and it's a very short.
Little bit.
Yeah, that sounds much better. Say, I'm home.
I'm home.
Oh, that's nice. Good. Olga, why don't you say little bit?
Little bit.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. How about... yeah, try it again. Go ahead, Olga.
A little bit. Little bit. Little bit. Little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And say, I'm home.
I'm home.
I heard you stretch that vowel. That's good.
I have to try. If I try, I can do it.
Yeah. Well,
Have you taken me back to Russian accent?
ah, that's right. That's right. I mean, the key is, to be aware of it and start working on it, and then, of course, the goal is to be able to do it without thinking about it. Um,
Yeah, we can pay attention to what we are talking.
right, right.
I'll try to pay attention and pronounce correctly while I'm speaking with you.
Yeah, with you.
With you.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll try to pay attention.
That's good. That's good. Excellent. And well, Lucy, let's have you give Jorge an icebreaker.
You want? I don't understand.
You're not sure what? Just to start a conversation with Jorge, and you pretend like you have not met him before.
I have to begin the conversation.
Yes. What could you say to him?
With George.
Yes.
Okay. I ask him, do you live near the ocean?
No, Lucy. Unfortunately, I don't live near the ocean. I live in the center of Colombia, which it's surrounded by mountains. And so if I want to go to the ocean, I have to take a plane, and it takes like 1 hour to arrive to the ocean.
Okay, you are very far from the ocean.
Yes, Lucy.
You are close to mountains.
Yes, exactly. Do you live near the ocean?
Oh, that's good. Okay, and then we can start pronunciation, Lucy. Mountain.
Mountain.
Yeah, it's more like tin at the end. Instead of saying tain, it's mountain.
Mountain.
Right, good. Yeah, that sounds great. And what were you going to ask her, Jorge?
Oh, I was going to ask her if she lives near the ocean in Canada.
It's not the ocean, but it's near the water. It's the beach.
Is it like a lake?
No, it's Gulf.
It's a gulf. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Does that make sense to you, Jorge?
Oh, yeah, a gulf. Okay.
I mean, a gulf is ocean, though. I think you're getting like technical about being an ocean as opposed to being a gulf or different areas. So you live close to the Gulf?
Yes.
Okay.
With a large beach.
Okay.
Okay, so a few pronunciation things like Lucy with the. Try to stretch out the vowel sound The. There you go. The. Much better. Much better. And the word large. Try to hit the R a little sharper. Large.
Large.
Okay, we'll work on that. The American R seems to be the hardest thing for a lot of people in the world because it's very sharp, and we go large.
Large.
That's a very French-sounding R. But that's somewhere to start. Okay, so that's good. Now, let's see.
I have another icebreaker.
Okay, why don't you ask? Can you ask? I think Marina's with us again. So why don't you ask Marina or give Marina an icebreaker?
Okay. Marina, how do you practice English every day? Like, what kind of activities do you do every day to improve your English?
Well, I speak every day with my boyfriend and his family, and at work. And
Oh,
what about you?
you are an English teacher, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
And
And you
Jorge,
watch a lot of Seinfeld, right?
I love Seinfeld. The best character for me is Elaine. I love Elaine, as well George Constanza. I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch Seinfeld, but it's a nice show. It's better than Chavos.
It's better than what?
Chavo?
Huh?
It's a Spanish program.
Oh.
Chapolin.
Oh,
You
because
know her?
Oh,
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's a Mexican show, comedy show from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Jorge, you said that you live in the center of Colombia. It's it's kind of near of Barranquilla.
No, Barranquilla, it's in the northern part of Colombia. It's like about 1 hour from here by plane. It's not close.
And Barranquilla is also known as Shakira town, right?
Oh yeah, her hometown is Barranquilla, right? That's right.
Do you like Shakira?
Yeah, I do. I am glad that she became very famous around the world because I started to listen to her when I was like 12 years old with Pies Descalzos. Do you remember that CD, that album?
Yeah, it's a nice album.
Yeah, and then she began experimenting, and later she started singing in English. So that was a huge step for her, and now she's really famous around the world, and she's Colombian.
Yeah,
She's Latina.
That's interesting. I didn't know she was Colombian.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, she's from Colombia.
Interesting. A few things there. Jorge, when you say because, try to get that because, that vowel there, because.
Because.
Yeah, maybe you need to stretch it a little bit more. Drop your jaw a little bit. Because. Yeah, good.
Because.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody
Thank
can
you.
practice. How about Lucy? Can you say because?
Because.
Okay, that's good. Olga?
Because.
Okay. Because.
Because. So long. It sounds long.
We're practicing, Olga. And Marina? I mean, Meera?
Because.
Oh, good.
Because.
Yeah, that's good. And then we'll get to Marina in a second. Jorge, another one is listen. You need to try to shorten your vowel instead of saying like listen, listen, short vowel, listen.
Listen.
That's much better.
Listen.
Yeah, oh, that sounds great. If you can be aware of your eyes, and where they need to be short, like this word, listen, that would help you a lot. Because your speaking, Jorge, is quite good, especially for somebody who's only been learning English for a few years. So you have potential to get more native sounding,
Okay.
So if you pay attention to these areas that, really pop out, like the eye, it'll help you a lot.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's see, Marina, can you let's see, try to start a conversation with Olga, like use an icebreaker to say something to her?
Wow. Olga,
Yes,
um, uh, where do you come from?
I came from Russia.
And
Well, maybe something. Can we ask her something a little different?
do you live near Meera?
Is it Lucy or Marie?
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be Marina, but Lucy came in. Um, but Lucy, you can ask what. So we have well. Okay, so we have Olga here.
Can I
Okay.
ask? Because I'm already second time answering.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep track of it. Well, why don't you do it? Okay, Lucy, I'm going to put you on hold, and then Olga, why don't you start
Mira.
one with Marina?
Yes, Marina or Mira?
Marina.
Marina.
Marina in Brazil.
She's from Brazil.
Yeah.
I forgot. She's from Brazil, but she's from America. See?
Okay.
What happened? Oh,
So, Olga,
It's
Her voice.
you're dropping out a little bit. Marina, maybe you could put your thing on mute for a second. There we go. And Olga, why don't you try again with Marina?
Marina. Okay. I also will ask about food. I like Mexican food, but I never try Brazilian food. So I want to know whether it's, do
Yeah,
you
but
have,
say it to her like you're starting the conversation. Just say it like real, for real.
okay. Hi, Marina, and what is your favorite food? Brazilian, the traditional favorite food. And I like Mexican food. Do you eat spicy food?
Okay, you're asking too many questions. Oh, no, what? She's gonna go. She's gonna like run away. So, you just stick with one. To start off with, like you could say to her, "Hi, Marina. I've been very fond of Mexican food, but I don't think I've ever had Brazilian food. Can you describe to me what Brazilian food is like?" Why don't you try something like that, Olga?
Yes. Okay. Hi, Marina. I love Mexican food, but I never try Brazilian food. So, is Brazilian food very spicy?
No, the Brazilian food is not spicy as Mexican food, but basically we eat, it's very interesting, our favorite food we call feijoada, that came from the time when the black people here, Afro-Brazilian, were slaves, and so they make rice with brown beans and some pig, and we mix it all with salad and eat that a lot. But my favorite food is Italian. What about, I mean, you already told me that you like Mexican food, but what is your favorite Russian food?
Oh, we just now talk about favorite Russian food.
Yeah, but she wasn't here earlier. Yeah, Olga already talked about the fact that borscht is like a favorite food in Russia. Maybe you could ask her, since she said she liked Mexican food, Marina, you could ask her what's her favorite Mexican food.
Although, what is your favorite Mexican food? Burritos, tacos?
I like everything.
Well, that's not a good answer. Because that doesn't help. That doesn't help the conversation. I mean, it may be true that you like everything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you're thinking in terms of being a good conversationalist. So give her some of your favorites.
Okay, I'll say burritos.
And then, you know, there are many different kinds of burritos, so give her some detail, like what kind of burritos?
When I come to restaurant, Mexican restaurant, the names are a bit complicated. I can't remember them.
Oh, yeah, well, I know what you mean by that. But like if you know what's inside, do you know what's inside the burrito?
Yes.
Maybe you don't want to know. I'm just kidding. No, but if you know what's inside the burrito, then you could describe that to her. You could say it's like a burrito, it has this, it has that. So why don't you give her some details about the burrito that you like?
Sometimes I take chicken burritos. Sometimes I take beef burritos.
But okay, a chicken burrito, it's usually not just chicken, right? There's other things inside it besides chicken, right?
I like the Mexican chilies. It's very different from Sri Lankan chilies.
There you go. There you go.
In Mexican, the chili has their own flavor, and they use that flavor for their dishes. I had a Mexican friend, and she taught me how to cook. She gave me different chilies, and she gave me some instructions. And still, I cook at home, but it's not burritos. It's not what else? What other things? It's just some dishes. I don't know the names. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what you could say is, it's not like a burrito that I learned. It's like this, and you could describe the dish a little bit, like whatever it is. It's chicken with sliced chilies and I don't know, rice, beans, whatever. You know, just give a little detail about it.
I like cooking chicken with mushrooms and Mexican chili. I think the name is ancho for that chili. It has a special flavor. Once you put that chili, you don't need to put any other spices. It's very hot and tasty.
Okay, good. And then what would you say to that, Marina?
Well, it's yummy. Mexican food, I like guacamole.
I never tried that.
Oh, you've never had guacamole. Oh, my God. Guacamole is very good. See, I couldn't resist. I had to jump in the conversation and say that.
And also, I love nachos.
I'm sorry. Hold on, Olga. Marina, what did you say?
And also, I love nachos, but I need to take care or otherwise I'm going to become fat, because when I started eating Mexican food, I never, stopped because it's so yummy. I love Mexican food.
Okay, good. And then
did you say you like nachos?
Yes, I did. Nacho, and I like to put the nacho inside the guacamole. Make nacho with guacamole.
Yeah, I know nachos, but I don't know the guacamole. How does it look like?
Well, I think that they cook with avocado.
Avocado.
Avocado. They mush the avocado, and they put some sauce. I don't know how they cook because I'm a bad cooker.
Bad cook. A bad say.
Bad cook.
Bad cook, not cooker.
Bad cooking or bad cook?
Just bad cook.
Bad cook.
Yeah.
I can only Italian food.
Okay. Yeah, guacamole is avocados, and you mash it up, and different people put different stuff in. There's a certain kind of spice that you put in, and some people put like onions and tomatoes and other things, but it's green, and you dip. It's like a dip.
It's a dip. Dips.
Remember in the Mexican restaurant, I didn't want the avocado.
Yeah. So, let's see. Olga, when you say the word flavor, hit that R kind of sharp, because you're saying like flavor. And which maybe I shouldn't make a big deal about, because in British English they do say flavour, and maybe that's the way the Australians say it too. How about the word tasty, though? Tasty, a little longer A.
Tasty.
Yeah, tasty.
Tasty.
Yeah. Next time you go to a Mexican restaurant, Olga, you have to order guacamole.
Okay. Well, just to try.
Although, do you like Italian food?
Chinese? What? Chilies or Chinese?
Do you like Italian food?
I can't. I didn't
She's
get
saying
it.
Italian food. Do you like Italian food?
Should I say honestly?
Don't worry, if you don't like it, I won't be offended.
No, that's okay. I will not be offended.
But you know what you say in a situation like that? I mean, you try to keep it positive. You say, I've had some of that, but for some reason I could never really get too interested in it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I just didn't have any friends who, or some people who could cook that for me. I don't know. Just didn't happen. Italian food. It's a bit can't understand because I don't eat much pasta, and they like pasta, I think. And pizza is also not favorite food.
You don't like pizza?
Not much.
Okay.
It's not healthy. Not healthy. Italian food is not very healthy, I think.
Well,
I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it can be unhealthy. It depends on what you eat and, of course, how much and all that sort of thing. I mean,
It's too much carbs. It's very fattening.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be.
And pizza as well is not very healthy.
But just to, as the Italian person here in the room, there's a lot more Italian food than pizza and pasta. There's.
I probably don't have information about Italian.
It's just
So,
like,
to say that.
Yeah, well, that's understandable because those are the most popular things that people hear about. So and it's just like with the Mexican food. There's a lot more Mexican food than just tacos and burritos and things like that. Like any cuisine.